What is up, Panthers Nation? We're back with another video today, and this one is special because it is a 53-man roster and practice squad video. We're going to go over the players that actually made the 53-man roster that surprised me. The majority of them did not. You kind of expected all the typical players that are on that roster right now to make it. The ones that were particularly looked at and surprising were Jordan Kunzik. I can never get that last name right, but he's a linebacker, and I liked what I saw from him against New England and Pittsburgh in preseason. So I like the move. I think that that's a smart play, putting him on the 53-man roster. We'll see what he can do. We still have a linebacker on our practice squad too. So wherever Jordan ends up in the depth chart, I'm sure it'll be a good spot for him and where he's supposed to be. Secondly, Jordan Scarlett. Jordan Scarlett was a huge topic of discussion. Running backs was a huge topic. In particular because of Bonifon and Cameron Artis-Payne, who is now working out for the Saints. That's disappointing. I like our practice squad roster, except for the last two that I don't know really who they are. To be honest with you, I know who DeAndre White is. Now, what I don't know is who Sion, the linebacker, is. I don't know who this guy is. And I also don't know who Brad One-Blade is that much, because I haven't, I've seen One-Blade on our roster for a couple of days now, and I was like, who is this guy? So I went digging. He is 6'3", 305 pounds from Oklahoma State. He's had a year in the NFL so far, so not a surprise there. So hopefully he can fill in that gap and be ready to go. But yeah, Scarlett made the 53-man roster. That was a huge battle between him, Bonifon, and Cameron Artis-Payne for those depth chart spots. And I'm glad Scarlett made it. I'm really, really happy that Scarlett made it to the 53, because he worked his butt off. He's earned it. And it wasn't his fault that he didn't get the averages and the big runs that he was looking for, because the offensive line wasn't blocking properly in a couple of those games in preseason. So you can't really fault him. You have to really look at how he does in private workouts, private practices, that the media and the fans are not allowed to see. You have to look at him at what he did during training camp, where the fans were allowed to see it, and in those games where he was actually able to get those holes opened up and run through them. Not counting the Pittsburgh game, really, because the lines were god-awful during the Pittsburgh game. But we won't get back into that, of course. So you're looking at this practice squad roster. Let's take a look at this. You got Quinn Blanding, defensive back. Now, I was watching Blanding a good deal during preseason. I felt like this was a good move. I think, he could really add to our team. Even just being on the practice squad, he and available for us. I feel like that's a positive move. You look at Rashard Cook. Cook, I don't know that much about. I didn't really watch him so far in the NFL, so I don't really know that much about his blocking ability. So I'm going to trust the roster, the coaching staff on this one. Brian Cox Jr., excellent move putting him on the practice squad. I like it. I like it a lot. I still feel like he deserves a spot on the 53, but that's okay. That he's on the practice squad. I'll accept that. I'm okay with it. Hemingway, the tight end. Now, here's my problem with Hemingway, and I said this in a previous video. His blocking ability needs a lot of work. We had a number of plays where the screens, these tight ends didn't block properly, third and fourth string. And that's him and Vanderleen, who struggled to block properly and get those holes open up for the running backs and screens open up for the wide receivers so that they could get some bigger gains than they were getting before. But that's not entirely on him. The line was having a lot of trouble, like I said before, and you can't entirely blame that on the tight ends. So, I don't know that this was the smartest move, bringing him back, but we'll see. We'll see. We got to have some depth for Greg Olsen, so I'm okay with it for now. Holyfield, the son of the great boxer, Holyfield, man. I'm so happy he made this roster. So are at least 90% of the fans out there. Because they were rallying for it, man. I'm telling you. Every post I saw, there were about 100 comments saying, put Holyfield on the roster. And honestly, from what I saw, I can't disagree with them. I have to join that bandwagon right there because Holyfield proved to me he deserves to be on this team, whether it be practice squad or on the 53. I don't care which one, but he deserves to be on one of these two. So, smart move. I'm happy with it. And again, take his numbers with a grain of salt in preseason because of the offensive line. Bijan Jackson, the defensive tackle, I'm pretty happy with. I saw a good number of plays from him, and I figured, I trust the coaching staff, and I think they know what they're doing on that one. Cole Luke. Now, Cole Luke's an interesting one. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember him being listed as a corner in training camp and through the preseason. Am I right about that, folks? Leave a comment down below and let me know if I'm wrong about that, because he's listed as a safety right now on our main website for the practice squad, which is interesting. So I don't know if maybe they're grooming him up to be a safety, or maybe the corner is his secondary position. Y'all will have to tell me about Cole Luke, because I'm interested in him. I've seen a number of plays from him, and there's pluses and minuses. There's a lot to be worked on, but I do like him. And I mentioned Brad Lundblade, and Sion Tuhuma. So, DeAndre White. DeAndre White. I feel like the wide receivers didn't really measure up down that far in the depth chart in preseason against New England and Pittsburgh. And the coaches felt the same. Now, here's the interesting part. You look at all the wide receivers that did not make the list. And, you're talking about Lavrone is in that list. There's a number of other ones on that list as well that did not make it, which did not surprise me, which I mentioned in the first round of cuts. So, I'm surprised that White made it to the practice squad. I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised at the same time, based on what I saw from him. I guess I'll go along with it for now. I'll support the coaches on this one for now. But honestly, there were a lot of pluses and minuses, but the minuses were more than the pluses as far as I'm concerned while I was scouting him. So, the biggest news of all. Here we go. Now, y'all know I'm a Clemson fan. Y'all see these two Clemson Cokes back there, championship Cokes. Y'all know what that's about right there. And I am going to go ahead and break out that 2016 championship Coke to show you guys. I'm not going to open it, but I'm going to show you guys. Because we finally got a Clemson national championship player on this roster. Here, here. Mr. Ray McCloud. And I just got to say right now, I've been lobbying for this team to get Clemson players since Dabo took over. I just knew that once we started winning championships, it was just going to be a wrap. People were going to want these players. People were going to be actively drafting them in first round, second round, third round. On down the list, man. You got... and Ray McCloud. I'm going to tell you this right now. Don't judge by the numbers. I'm going to tell you the numbers in just a second, but don't just judge by the numbers on Ray McCloud. I've seen a lot of tape on him in Clemson, and I'm going to tell you, this guy is special. This guy is special. He's just getting started. He's only 2 years in the NFL. He's gotten coached up by the Bills. But I'm going to tell you what. We got him off waivers from the Bills. This dude is fast. He's fast and he's got hands. He's got footwork. He's got technique. He's got everything you're looking for. Except he's on the smaller side. How many wide receivers have we brought through here that have been on the smaller side and actually turned out okay? So don't judge him by his stats and his speed yet. Just wait and see. He took over Mickens' old number of number 14. When Mickens didn't make the roster. So, as a punt returner, kick returner / wide receiver, and wide receiver being the main position that he plays, Ray McCloud could do exactly the same, except he's 5 times better. And y'all will see it. When he gets out on that field, you will see it. It may take a couple of years, but I'm gonna tell you, man. Once this man earns a spot on the roster, that's it. He does not. He gives 110%, just like he did in Clemson, to earn his roster spot. Just like all the players did under Dabo Swinney. And it is refreshing to see that we got somebody from a team like that on this roster that believes in determination, motivation, and dedication. That's exactly what this team needs right now. This Panthers team needs all three of those things right now, especially dedication. I've been saying it for 3 years and I'm saying it now. If we apply proper dedication and execution on that field, we could get back to 2015. It's not that, you know, what you saw from that 2015 squad was execution and just living the keep pounding theme. Not just talking about it, not just saying it, living it, executing it, all 4 quarters of the game, all up until the clock hit 0. That's what you saw in 2015. They set the bar. And that's what I want this team to become. I want this team to be disciplined. I want this team to be smart. And I want this team to be dedicated. And Ray McLeod brings all three of those things to this team. So I'm very excited to welcome him to this roster. And let's get to work. We got the Rams coming up on Sunday. Now, I'm going to be posting that pregame review early for specific reasons of it being the first week of the regular season schedule and because I want to get ahead of the game. I'm also going to be revisiting the schedule in a video as well. Expect that video in the next couple of days, as well as a video about Dave Gettleman. Now, I know some people are going to be like, oh, but Dave Gettleman is the reason we blah, 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 fill in the blank. To me, I just want you guys to understand his methods. That's the reason I'm posting this video. I want you to understand why he was successful at what he did and what his weaknesses were. This is non-biased. This is whatever you want to fill in the blank with. I just want to show people what Dave Gettleman did as general manager and why it worked and why it didn't work. So, leave comments down below hating them all you want to, but Dave Gettleman got us some of the players that got us to the Super Bowl. So, either way, we got there. Anyway, that's all I've got in this video for you today. You can check out the Panthers 53-man roster and the practice squad roster, as well as the injured reserve roster. I'm told that Greg Little is still being evaluated. And we'll see about that. Bruce Irvin may not go on against the Rams. Brian Burns is ready. He said it. I believe it. We'll see what happens. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you for all the likes and all the subs and all the love for this channel. Thank you so much, man. Right from the heart, man. I love you guys. We're a family here. We take care of each other. Let's be kind to one another. And let's always remember to keep pounding. Thank you, guys. Peace.